What's up guys, Mickle here, and someone just made a $1 million bet that Bitcoin is gonna go to $1 million within the next 90 days. In this video, I want to break down exactly why this person made this bet, what was their logic, and whether or not I think it's gonna play out. I also want to talk about what could happen to the price of XRP in this scenario. Do I think XRP has a better or worse chance of going on a parabolic run like this? In this video, we're going to break down this, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button. It's going to help me out so much. And if you ever need a good place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange, Uphold, down in the description of this video. With that said though, let's jump right into it right after a quick word from the sponsor of this video.
Void.
So let's jump into the video, and before we get into the whole Bitcoin $1 million bet thing, I quickly want to give you one of my own predictions because something is playing out right now that's making me pretty skeptical of a certain founder of a project out there. So just today, Tron founder Justin Sun proposes a $1.5 billion offer to acquire Credit Suisse. Now, what is my own personal opinion on Justin Sun doing this? I think this is absolutely insane. I don't think buying Credit Suisse makes any sense at all for Justin Sun. Now, Justin Sun has been running around everywhere trying to buy all these different bankrupt crypto companies, all these different bankrupt traditional financial system players, and I just don't see how this makes any sense. Now, I don't want to get into all the details around Justin Sun and Tron, but I have seen a lot of sketchy stuff in the past involving him, nothing directly proving he has done anything wrong, just some things that really make you scratch your head, a lot of transfers between him and Tether. Either way though, I just wanted to call out this specifically because it really doesn't make any sense at all. What is Justin Sun going to do with the assets at Credit Suisse? It doesn't make any sense. I mean, Credit Suisse is well known for being one of the worst run banks out there, and it just doesn't make any sense why he would want to buy it. It's not like he's going to be able to buy it and suddenly convert all their customers to using the Tron network. That's not how it's going to work. All the people using Credit Suisse as a bank are very old school, very traditional. They're not just going to move over to Tron because Justin Sun buys it. Overall, this just doesn't make any sense to me. It shows a level of hubris that I kind of saw with Do Kwon, and I just have this bad feeling that Tron could end up in a similar situation. I just see this as a very irresponsible move by Justin Sun. This is something I would never expect to see from the Ripple team because they're adults, they know how to run a proper business, and they know acquiring pointless assets like this doesn't make any sense. Either way, I just wanted to throw this out there. I think one of the weirdest things I've seen in the cryptocurrency industry since I got involved was people's wild praise for people like Justin Sun, people like Do Kwon, people who literally act like children running multi-billion-dollar payment networks. It doesn't make sense to me how Brad Garlinghouse and David Schwartz, some of the most responsible people in crypto, get such a bad rap, and then everyone goes to praise people like Justin Sun who are making absolutely ridiculous moves like this. Anyway, I guess we'll see how it plays out. Maybe I'm completely wrong here. Justin Sun buys Credit Suisse and he turns it into the biggest crypto bank in the world. I would take the bet that is never going to happen, and this whole idea to me just screams that he really doesn't know what's going on in the world. So now I want to move on and talk about the Bitcoin $1 million bet made by Balaji. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Anyway, though, he's essentially betting $1 million that Bitcoin, which is currently trading for 26K, is going to hit $1 million within the next 90 days. Now, this bet was actually based on a tweet he was responding to, where this guy James said, "I'll bet anyone $1 million that the US does not enter hyperinflation." Now, to me, this sounds like an absolutely horrible bet. First of all, we have no idea how Bitcoin would even respond to hyperinflation. The common thought out there is hyperinflation would be really good for Bitcoin. But we just went through a pretty inflationary period and Bitcoin went down. So not only is this guy Balaji taking the bet that hyperinflation would be good for Bitcoin, he's then adding a ridiculous price target onto that, saying Bitcoin will go to $1 million. To me, this really doesn't make any sense at all. I think it's a really bad bet. And this bet gets even worse if you take a look at what's actually happening to inflation in the United States. What you're looking at right now is actually a model made by a company, Trueflation. They're an independent organization that looks to model the inflation in the United States, and so far I have found their numbers to be very accurate. I am always paying attention to Trueflation and comparing it to what the US government is reporting. But what we can see right here is that Trueflation actually has the inflation rate lower than what is being reported by the US government at only 4%. More shocking than that, though, is the fact that Trueflation actually had inflation higher than the US government a couple months ago. And what we can see based on the graph is that inflation is coming down dramatically. This is not something we would expect to see if we were going into hyperinflation. And I will make the point, a lot of people in crypto are kind of doomsday people. They're waiting for these crazy things to happen to the financial system. They're waiting for the entire system to just fall apart, everything goes to zero, hyperinflation. But a lot of times I find they're just not looking at data. I mean, I would totally be on board with saying, hey, we could go to hyperinflation if this graph was going the other way. If we saw inflation going to 20%, 30%, then I would be like, hey, looks like hyperinflation to me. But if you just look at the numbers, I don't see where people are getting this hyperinflation narrative from. Yes, I get it. Eggs are really expensive. Yes, I get it. Things have went up in price over the last couple years. But for the most part, that is going away. And all we have to do is look at the data. So overall, I think this argument that Bitcoin is going to go to $1 million because of hyperinflation that doesn't exist in the economy right now is absurd. I think it's a horrible bet. Now, Bitcoin is moving pretty good right now. Bitcoin is actually at 28K right now, and this bet was made just about a day ago. So Bitcoin's moving well, but I just think it's completely absurd to think it's going to go to $1 million in the next 90 days. And on top of that, say that will happen because of hyperinflation that we're not even seeing in the economy. Just be careful. A lot of the crypto people out there are doomsday people. They envision these crazy scenarios, and oftentimes there's not a lot of actual evidence to back it up. Now, I want to make it clear that I do think there is going to be hyperinflation in other portions of the world, but to say it's happening in the US dollar right now, I think is pretty absurd. And even if it was to enter the US economy, I don't see that happening in 90 days. Inflation just doesn't move that fast, and we have a very steep downtrend we're going to have to reverse in order for that to happen. Overall, I think this is a really bad bet, and I don't think Bitcoin's going to $1 million in the next 90 days. With that said, do I think there's a better chance that an asset like XRP could make a massive parabolic move? Now, I don't think XRP is going to go to $1 million in the next 90 days. I know some of you are going to hate to hear that. With that said, though, I think XRP has a much better chance of making a parabolic move to, say, the $10 to $20 range, which could be in a similar percentage to Bitcoin going to $1 million. Now, why do I think this? Because I'm not making the bet that XRP is going to go to $10 to $20 based on hyperinflation. The thing that XRP has is actual utility. XRP has the benefit of going up in price because the network is getting more adoption. The thing about Bitcoin is it's really a doomsday scenario asset people hodl because they like the idea of having an asset that the government can't manipulate. Well, the fact of the matter is XRP has all those things also. But not only does it have that, but it actually is a working payment network that is gaining adoption all over the world for interbank settlement. There is a lot more utility in the rails of XRP as a payment form than Bitcoin. And because of this, we have so many different avenues for price appreciation. The more adoption ODL gets, the more projects built on the XRP ledger, the more people using the XRP ledger as a neutral settlement layer, the more XRP's price is going to have to go up to cover this increase in liquidity demand. Overall, I just see a lot more avenues for XRP to actually gain this style of adoption, and we also have a catalyst that I didn't even mention in the fact that XRP could be the only cryptocurrency with clarity in the United States within a month from now. The unfortunate fact of the matter is the United States is not going to get cryptocurrency clarity in the next 2 years. XRP is about to be one of the only cryptocurrencies in the world to be designated as a non-security in the US markets. This is going to greenlight institutions to flow into the asset, and it's going to make it so XRP is one of the only cryptocurrencies they can touch. These institutions want exposure to crypto, and they are about to be forced into XRP. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.